Okay, so A-Rock Canvas, how are you? This is Tony. I am on a roll with videos. Yes. Okay, so anyway, this is going to be about planning this like new series. So essentially for my thesis, I had to write a collection of poems. It ended up being 27 poems, and I have really strong themes of blood and water. So the poetry collection talks about blood as in lineage, menstruation, stuff like that, and then water as in transatlantic slave trade and stuff like that, and swimming in water and mythology of water and stuff like that. Emotional kind of healing resonance. That's kind of my writing, right? This isn't my writing channel, but that's what's going into it. So I'm thinking about the pearlescence, I'm thinking about those things, and I really want to hone in on that and keep that like fixed in there. I do want to use the titles for my poems as the titles of the artwork. I don't know if I'm going to do every piece, every like poem in the collection, like create a piece of artwork. I may do like half the collection instead. I just think that that may be exhausting. And I also feel like I would want to, I don't know. I feel like I don't have to do that. There is another project of making an oracle deck where I think that that is more appropriate. But I think for a collection where I'm going to like possibly make prints or do an art exhibition for, I am not 100% sold on doing like 20 pieces, 20 plus pieces, almost 30 pieces for that. If I did, it would have to vary in size. I have various different sizes already of canvas boards. So I have like 16 by 24 or 18 by 24, one of the two. I have like the 5 by 5s. I have the 6 by 6 magnets. I have like a range of things so I can do it. They would all be canvas boards. I don't necessarily want to use canvas, mainly because I'm using collage and I'm not necessarily doing acrylic. Although I do feel like the next iteration of my artistic journey is to use acrylic paints and pastels. But I don't necessarily want to do that because I also don't want to affix like the hooks and I don't want to fuck that up. Canvas board to me is pretty cool. It's pretty interesting in terms of like being able to paste stuff on there. I kind of feel like if you're doing it on canvas, I would like to do it on raw canvas, which is why I actually made the name of this channel A-Raw Canvas, because I was fascinated with raw canvas without doing the gesso priming and things like that, and without stretching it onto a frame. So I could do that. Those are some options. So the options would be like raw canvas, like gessoed, ungessoed, not fitted. It makes it a little bit rougher looking. The next thing could be me using like fabrics that I have. I have a lot of fabrics, and then I also have some jeans that I can't wear anymore. And I can recycle and upcycle them. That also is something that I'm interested in, upcycling, recycling items. So there's that. Adding a sewing component to this where I sew things together. That's a component. Stitching things together, stitching things on canvas, stitching things with on paper. That's an option. So I have for like the actual like environment, well, the real estate that I'm taking up, there's some options in terms of what materials those are. When it comes to the color palette, you guys saw that already. The color palette, you know, and then there's just the matter of the next iteration of my artwork. So I started out collaging a little bit, and I had a really old art style of drawing like a lot of lines and symbols and stuff like that. I want to go back to that, but I don't think going back to that on straight canvas with acrylic like that Posca marker is going to work because I don't think it looks good. I don't think people got with it. I think people thought that it was like a strange thing. But I still might make prints of it. So there's that. I still may make, still might do that because I'm interested in going back to that style a little bit and drawing and using canvas and drawing my little weird wonky flowers that I used to do. I think there's just something about them that I want, and I think that merging what I'm already doing with that will be the winning combination. It's not necessarily the whole of what I want to do, but I think for this collection, it may start coming out a little bit. So I would want to use the canvas boards, use acrylic, do that, paint on that, then collage, and then do pastels, and do these like jelly prints as well to make scrap papers and then collage them. I am trying to learn about layering things, like layering acrylics on Mod Podge or on this, on that, because I don't want it to be like it's falling off and it's falling apart. I want it to be like when it's on and it's adhered to something, it's adhered to something. It's not looking cheap because it's falling apart, it's coming off, it's looking tacky, it's not drying. It's creating a lot of dust, with the pastels, and it's not, I want to make sure that I know kind of like the steps that I need to take for that, because I'm not a formally trained artist. I need to know the steps to take with that stuff. So I've been looking up layering, this on this on this, and that's kind of how I'm going. But my plan is to start drawing my wonky flowers again, putting them on canvas, and probably using Posca markers for that, drawing on there, but having an acrylic painted background, like fully painted, collaged, and then pastel and Posca on there, and seeing where that goes. And I feel like that will be the bulk of the next collection that I truly design. This is kind of different in that I want to go ahead and oh goodness, my stomach, sorry. I want to go ahead and start getting into exhibitions and doing that more consistently. I've had one exhibition before. If you go to my Instagram, you'll know what it was and what it looked like, and it was pieces I had made a while ago, and I got in like last year 2024, somewhere in there, and that was a cool experience. It was my first art exhibition, and I'm hungry for more, so I want to put in that effort to get in those spaces. I am looking to target my work because I am someone who wants to like be in spaces, but I also have to like figure out the best spaces for me, because I'm also not like a figurative kind of like person. I'm more abstract with everything, and I think that that puts me out of certain spaces. Some certain spaces want you to, it's people, it's pets and stuff like that, and I'm more abstract, and the only thing you get are like plants, and they're not even like realistic looking. So it's like kind of different. I feel like that's something that I am kind of anticipating, so I wanted to kind of pull that together, get my life together with that, and see how that comes in the future. So the goal is to have a few exhibitions this year leading into next year. I also am graduating with my MFA in creative writing, and so one of the things with creative writing is called ekphrastic poetry, which is like writing about visual art, dance, music, things like that. And so linking it to creating collections, making the proposal where I am teaching a workshop on the ekphrastic writing, ekphrastic poetry, and then also having art exhibitions maybe in the same space, or I'm doing kind of like both at the same time. It's something that I'm just kind of like interested in exploring. So I feel like that's my main thing this year and next year. And I also have like a really large place that I want to like to participate in. It comes here like every year, and I want to participate in it. And I feel like next year I could really make some strides and get there, you know. So that's kind of where I am with all my creations. I think I'll do the first iterations post-graduation. So this may be post-graduation, the main stuff that I'm doing. For my thesis, like the actual reading that I'm going to like participate in, I have my book and I can sell like 2 other things. I think I'm going to make magnets for that event and jelly prints. I think that's going to be it. And then the art exhibition things, we're going to be still trying to promote the book. It's like it serves a dual purpose, promoting the book and then also promoting the workshops, and well, triple purpose, promoting the workshops, promoting the actual work, and promoting like other things that I got going on. So that's kind of where I am. Color palette is kind of solidified. I think the canvas boards, I want to get started using them up because I have quite a few canvas boards. I do have canvases also, like primed and gesso canvases, but I just don't want to use those. Again, I don't want to have to like do the wire and put the stuff in, and I don't have time for that. Canvas board, I think also laying flat across, like on the thing, looks pretty nice. I feel like canvas board looks pretty nice, and I feel like it's undervalued. I think everybody thinks that you have to do canvas, and I feel like I might just do raw canvas as well, and denim as well. So that's about it. Thank you for watching. I'm like looking at my Facebook and distracted, but thank you for watching. I will talk to you guys later. This concludes, I think, all the videos I want to do for this week. So next week, like I said in the other videos, if you watch it, you know, cool. This is just a repeat, but wanting to talk about my vending that's upcoming, and then May's vending schedules, and check in with where I'm going with the art. I'm not gonna go live, but I might do a slight video of me working on pieces and going from there. I really want to do prints also. I'm feeling called to really try and do prints in some capacity, even if it's like the cheapest of the cheap print. And I don't mean that to be rude, but it's just like I just want to get out there and see if my prints will work. And I'll have to like send these off somewhere because I don't have a good printer here. I don't have a printer at all really that's going to do that. So it would have to be like the really cheap prints. But somebody was like, I go to Walmart. No, they go to Walgreens or something like that. And I think if I get a good Adobe like file that I can print off, I may do that. I might actually go to my lab and like try my like computer lab at my school. I might try that, see it in Photoshop if I can like color correct or something like that. I just don't do Photoshop that well. It wasn't my thing. I tried to use it for my book to try to do stuff, and it didn't go well. It didn't go well, and I kind of got pissed off and we did that. But anyway, thank you for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm rambling, I'm talking a lot. Thanks. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.